I'm really trying to think of a good way to explain this, but here we have all these separate circles. Each one is its own independent shape. So this, whether there's a fill or a stroke, it's an independent shape. And I like to think of it as pieces of a pie or a cake. Here we have the whole cake. Well, I want to take out this slice. This is just so you can see it easier. It doesn't matter if there's stroke or fill, it'll end up being the same thing. I'm going to cut that out. That's what I have, and this is what I'm left with. So here was the main cake, and I took out my slice. It doesn't matter, again, like I said, if there's a stroke or a fill, doesn't matter. If you wanted to union together, these would already have to be like complete shapes. For example, now we've got this shape, and I want to add this one in here. We can go ahead and now union these together. We're not taking anything out of another shape. We are combining shapes that already exist. So with the difference would be more like subtraction. It is exactly what it is, subtraction. We are removing a chunk out of this shape. But if you had started with these circles being already one object, right now you could tell they're not. We have this, I've got this, these are all separate. So in order to combine them, we're going to have to remove sections. So I'm going to remove this piece out of this piece. And here, I guess this too, you can see the layers. If I was to move one of these to the bottom, layer, object, lower to bottom, you don't see it anymore. It's still there, but now it's on underneath everything else. And you can't really subtract something larger out of something smaller, which is why I always say, you know, the shape that you're trying to take it out of needs to be lower than the one that you're removing. So again, we've got the difference here. We just remove that shape. We remove this smaller circle out of this bigger circle. Now we're left with this crescent shape. Now I want to remove this crescent shape out of this yellow circle, and I'm going to do the same thing, difference. Now you could see I have removed that shape. I cut that shape out of the larger circle. Again, I'm going to click on that, and we're about to remove this ring out of the blue. So now we're left with this shape here, and now I want to remove that shape from this larger circle, and that's what we have. Now for union, like I said, it would be, instead of subtracting out of each shape, you would be combining shapes that already exist, which is why if you try to union all of this together right now, it becomes one big circle, because you're pretty much combining a full circle plus another full circle that's smaller plus another full circle that's smaller. It's going to get lost in there. But if these were separate shapes already, then it's not going to get lost, because this is a big empty space here. We could just, even taking that without, just ignore these, we could take that and union it, and you could see we had this big circle here. Now, that's not to say that these pieces are going to be removed from it. If we try to union this and this, it'll be lost already, because there's no gap, there's nothing separate. We would have to, we would have to also do the difference. If you're trying to make a cutout of a hole, or make a cutout of something like this, you use difference. If you want to combine shapes that already have gaps in them like this, it would be union.